I think the interesting thing about the Boeing price action, and unfortunately we do have to talk about the price action, is that yesterday, Becky, it opened dead on its low. It opened right on its low and rallied from there, rallied pretty impressively from that 365.55 low to get back to $400. I think that's, though, an interesting level. While we're down just a little bit today, that 365 low yesterday is just above the 200-day moving average. That's 358 right now. So while Boeing has had a tremendous run, gained almost 50% in the past 3 months from its low in December, you would think that those levels would be really important,
hey, Scott,
even as the news comes in.
Technical levels seem like they would make no sense in a situation like this. I mean, this is something where the news and the headlines are moving pretty quickly. It depends entirely on what's found in this second investigation, and then depends entirely on what the FAA decides beyond that.
Only the big round numbers are going to matter. Absolutely the case. But, you know, we had some pretty ugly news yesterday as far as the stock is concerned, and it rallied from that 365 low. So I'll agree. But, you know, we've had 5 months of investigation of the Lion Air crash, and we're not going to get more information this week, even this month, about 2.
In this scenario. What's that? 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this scenario. It's not going to be the same. You can't say, here's what happened after the Lion Air crash. This is an entirely different situation. If they find that there are any sorts of consistencies or problems that mirror up, that this is not more than a coincidence, which seems like it would be pretty difficult to do mathematically. I mean, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. So if you look at this and say technical levels, or look at this and say, here's what happened 5 months ago, I have a hard time following to think that any of this is going to follow suit.
Well, I understand your point. I think part of what is going on here is we are going to pay attention to what the FAA has to say. Investors are as well. The FAA, again, yesterday reiterated their airworthiness rating. Normally what happens here is that the regulator in the country that certified the plane, and that would be the FAA in the United States, most other countries will defer to them. China not deferring to them, that's the first time that's happened in a long time. And so I think that some of the geopolitical concerns are what are weighing on Boeing right now. It's absolutely a wonderful company with an absolutely horrible story right now, and a real problem, probably not an existential problem, but certainly a problem for a very popular airplane. They have 5,000 737s in the backlog. They're delivering about 52 a month. They were hoping to ramp that up to nearly 60 a month. But let's face it, the problem is we are going to figure out the problem. That's one of the beauties of the way that we investigate these crashes right now. And you have to be comfortable with the idea that Boeing will be able to fix the problem.
Scott, what else are you watching this morning?
I think it's interesting also that that the stock market in general, the S&P, rallied throughout the entire course of the day yesterday. Obviously, the Dow Jones was the laggard because of the way that a price-weighted index is measured. I think the interesting thing is we're now getting some M&A back into the chip space, the technology space, because of the NVIDIA deal. Interesting that NVIDIA, the acquirer, actually rallied on that news. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Apple, obviously, still way off its high, but Apple had a great day as well. So to the degree that technology is going to be a leader again, that's going to help the broad market.
You have any concerns about this breakup talk? We were just talking a little bit ago about Elizabeth Warren's plans to potentially break up some of the big FANG stocks. Does that sound like something that eventually becomes reality, and do you have any concerns?
No and no. No and no. I don't think that anybody thinks that that is likely right now. Whether or not it should, I don't think it's simply likely right now. I think much more interesting or of concern for the FANG stocks is the fact that Facebook seems like they want to change their business model entirely. And the stock just has not reacted to that. It may be that we don't really understand what Zuckerberg is thinking, but it sounds like he wants to change their business completely. He wants to essentially capitulate to the people who are worried about privacy concerns. Good for him. But we don't know what that's going to do to the company. And the fact that the stock didn't sell off on the news, I think, is really interesting as well. I would be much more concerned about Facebook than any of the other FANG stocks or MAGA stocks or any of them.